Hey, what's going on, everyone? We have some comps to try out in set 10 on the PBE if you're able to get onto the server. Obviously, there's not going to be a meta snapshot for PBE because we're just trying to have fun there. We're trying to experiment with what's going on with the new game. And they're also making patches every single day, so there's always going to be new stuff to kind of try. But here are some of the 10 more interesting comps that you can kind of check out. 10 for set 10. We have Punk, Olaf Reroll, we have Yasuo Reroll. You could be like a Olaf and Yasuo one trick if you want. They're kind of like the very similar things. Twisted Fate, Disco Dazzler. This one's pretty fun. Emo Reroll, Seraphine Reroll, RapidFire Bruisers, Pentakill, Ezreal Bruisers, and Heartsteel Reroll. So let's just get into them. Punk is really fun for Reroll because Punk actually reduces the cost of your shop, and that way you could get like a lot more Rerolls. So you could do something like Pantheon, Vi, Twitch, and Jinx Reroll. Very powerful stuff. You could do like Jinx or Twitch as your main carry, depending on who you get to 3-star first. Pantheon, generally going to be the main tank though. Just generic tank items on him. You could kind of supplement this comp with some of the other traits you see here, such as Country, Executioner, Guardian, Masha, and Rapidfire, just to boost up your carries a little bit more. Boost up your main tanks a little bit more too. But overall, you're just going to be doing a reroll pattern here. So pretty much you're just going to reroll at stage 3-1 at level 4 for as many Jinxes and Vi's as possible. Then afterwards, once you get them to 3-star, level up, get Pantheon and Twitch to 3-star as well. And then that's pretty much going to be the bulk of your team. Just fill in random synergies to complement everyone after that. Obviously, if you're going to 3-star someone, try to itemize them. Don't 3-star someone and then not itemize them. It just isn't that effective use of time. Next up we have is Olaf Reroll. I actually have a replay of this if y'all want to check that out. Olaf is incredibly powerful. Just get a bunch of the stacking items on him. Rageblade, Titan's Resolve, I think are like very important. You could do a healing item. He does have some built-in healing. So you could opt for like a Bloodthirster or no Bloodthirster. But even with healing, Bloodthirster is still nice because you get a nice big shield on him. With 6 Brawler, you're going to get like a very big shield with that item. You could also try other items such as like Quicksilver because he is going to be a melee unit up in the front and being a little risky there. Obviously, with Olaf Reroll, you want to get Tahm Kench 3-star as well. They're both 1-cost units, so follow like the 1-cost reroll leveling pattern. I'll be redoing all the leveling guides coming up in the new set once it comes out. I want to see all the leveling changes through once they're on live, and then use that as kind of like a guide to play the rest of the set. After you get all the brawlers in, Pentakill is definitely going to be something you want because they increase Olaf's attack speed even further and gives him a bit more damage, so you can fill that in with like something like Kale and Gnar are both pentakills, and they're relatively cheap, so you can kind of fit them in whenever. But yeah, same exact leveling pattern as the previous comp. But next comp up, another reroll build, Yasuo Reroll. I promise it's not all reroll, it's just what's popular right now. But Yasuo gets stacks of attack damage starting from the very beginning of the game. Very incredible stuff, because the earlier you get him, the stronger he's going to be. Very similar build to the Olaf. You want like a Quicksilver, Titans, Bloodthirster. The healing's a little bit more necessary on Yasuo. I probably wouldn't even play him without it, but since you're going for Yasuo 3, might as well go for Kennen 3, and then for the later parts of the game, Senna can kind of help out as well. You want like the true damage to get Yasuo really poppin', and of course Edgelord because he also is an Edgelord. Ironically, Edge and Knight is a pretty good item on Yasuo as well. So if you want to like just be a complete edgelord and build Edge and Knight, it's something that's very possible. Just replace QSS with that. The same reroll pattern there, generic tank items on Kennen. Next one up, we have Twisted Fate, Disco Dazzler. This one is where it gets a little more interesting because we're able to play some of the 4-cost units, plus we get to play around with the disco balls. So you see the balls there, they give a bonus to the units around them, and you could like move them wherever you want. They're not in any set location. You definitely do want your team to be like buffed up by them because that's kind of like the whole point of playing the trait. Dazzler's good at kind of denying enemy carries. It reduces their damage, so it's pretty good. And then Twisted Fate gonna just be the 4-cost carry of this comp. Blitzcrank gonna be the 4-cost tank, just because they're both disco units. Nami is there because she supports a lot of the traits of this comp. Echo, pretty solid tank for your utility items. And then just go like AP items on Twisted Fate, and you could do something like a Rageblade too. Anything that gets him to like cast more, kind of scale into the later parts of the fight, gonna be great because Blitzcrank is an absolute monster. Very solid tank in him there. But yeah, this is a 4-cost comp, which means you want to play like tempo early game, but you have enough health to kind of play for it. Obviously AP starts are good, and then like roll at level 8 because you really want level 8 for all the 4-cost units. They changed the odds of like how often units show up based on your level, and level 8 is like much better than it was before, and level 7 is horrible for 4-cost now. The next build up we have is Emo Reroll, if you're feeling like a little emo. So in Emo Reroll, you want to focus on Amumu and Vex. Those are going to be your main goes-tos. And especially if you're doing the reroll version, because like they're both 3 costs, so you want to do that on level 7. It's actually disgusting, the odds at level 7 now. I think it's like 40% for 3-cost units. So you get them very, very easily. Vex you want to throw in the back, put a mana regen item on her, Archangels, and Hextech Gunblade. Gunblade's good whenever you're kind of scaling with an Archangels. Amumu, you want to make sure you have magic penetration on him. The Redemption's pretty good at keeping him alive. And then you could kind of complement your team with even more stuff later on. So you could put in Poppy as like a main tank, generic tank items on Poppy. And then you could even add Karthus to kind of add Executioner for your team and be a secondary carry, because also a very solid unit there. After that, throw in some Guardians, make your tanks a little more tankier, and then that's pretty much going to be most of the team. Again, you want to roll at level 7 and get 3-star 3-cost, because that's just like the highest odds right now. And again, it's a lot easier to do that because the odds are just better now. So if you want to do 3-cost reroll, like maybe set 10 is going to be a reroll set. I'm assuming they're going to be changing some of the odds going into the future, because there's also like the chosen mechanic. So definitely a lot easier to hit some of these things. Next up, we have Seraphine Reroll, or I guess it's called Headliner, same thing, right? Seraphine is going to be done with Spellweavers and KDA. Seraphine is a part of both, so you just want to build up the synergies to kind of get her a little bit stronger. You could do like deeper into KDA, deeper into Spellweaver, either or works. It really just depends what you're going for, but she's going to be 2-cost reroll, so you could do like Seraphine 3 and then complement it later on with like Nico and Echo. I guess you could also do Gragas if you really want, because they're both 2-cost units, but whatever you're hitting, that's what you're going to be playing. But Seraphine, just generic AP items, Shojin, Jeweled Gauntlet, Archangels, anything works. And you could also do a very similar build with Ahri in a Spellweaver build, so that's something to keep in mind too if you don't want to do something like a reroll. But primarily 2-cost reroll comp, similar to Sirocco Nico of set 9.5 if you all played that. So you could roll a bit at 6 for Seraphine, and then afterwards you want to go 7 and get the Nico and the Echo. Next build up we have is RapidFire Bruisers. So RapidFire Bruisers is going to be 4 Rapidfire, 4 Bruiser. Pretty simple there. It's just a generic frontline, backline type of team. You got beefy people in the front. You got damage dealers in the back. What more could you possibly want? In this case, it's going to be with the 4-cost. Zac as a main tank, Caitlyn as a main damage dealer. They changed Shojin a bit. They made it a little bit better for AD item users. So they're going to have the identity of blue buff being for AP users, Shojin going to be for AD users. It makes sense because one's made from a tier, one's made from a sword. But even though you see like Lucian here, you don't really need the Lucian because you want to focus more on the Caitlyn. He's kind of like the icing on the cake. Same with Alawi. Alawi obviously is the legendary bruiser, but you're more focused on Zac and Caitlyn because that's going to be easier to hit for most of the time. But yeah, just roll at level 8 because you want the 4-cost. Not really too much else to say there. Next build up we have is Pentakill. So Pentakill is going to be 7 Pentakill. Just go really deep into that, and there are so many different carries to choose from. I don't even know who to start with. So let's start from the back, I guess. Karthus, he's just kind of like the original Pentakill champ, right? He hits so many units, he deals a ton of damage, and he also gets like kind of like a soft reset whenever he kills a unit. He gets 10 mana, but he's got a pretty big mana pool, so it's not like he's casting the entire time. But what you want to do with him, the Shojin is really nice again with cast faster. Archangel's obviously going to be good because he's going to be really useful as the fight goes longer and longer. And then just some generic damage item like the Jeweled Gauntlet would kind of cap him off. After that, we have Viego. Viego's pretty cool too. Generic frontline bruiser AD items are going to work on him. Bloodthirster Titans plus one extra item. It could be like a Giant Slayer. It could be like an Infinity Edge. Literally anything. And then we also have Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's kind of funny because he gets a stack AP. And the earlier you get him, the more he can do. So if you want to reroll for him, definitely go ahead and do it. If not, like focus on Viego and Karthus. But overall, pretty solid build. Yorick is going to be the final person on the board that you kind of care about. Yorick actually does so much stuff. Like, holy cow. I was playing him in like a Olaf build. In case y'all were watching my stream, twitch.tv/BunnyMuffinsLOL. And Yorick was actually just completely destroying everyone on the damage chart for some reason. And it was actually disgusting. Maybe they patched it, I'm not sure, but he was so good. But yeah, level 8 for this comp if you're going for the 4-cost such as Karthus and Viego. If you're going Mordekaiser reroll, obviously do it at level 7. Or just like don't go for him and go for other stuff instead. Next build up we have is Ezreal Bruisers. This is another 4-cost comp. I guess we kind of did all the rerolls first, then we have the 4-cost down here. We have Zac as the main tank. Zac is like just very solid overall. He kind of reminds me of Sejuani from last set because he is going to just be like generic 4-cost tank. Isn't quite like the big CC unit as like there's another 4-cost that does that this set. I forget which one it was, but just like solid tank unit, and they're like Brawler Bruiser is kind of the same thing, right? Ezreal going to be in the back line. He's going to be a Heartsteel and a big shot, so you could add in a big shot if you have extra room. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units on the board here, but you definitely want Heartsteel. That's what Aphelios is doing there. Heartsteel is pretty much the econ trait of the set. You want to get your reward after, I think it's like 4 rounds, and you like kill a bunch of units to get more hearts to kind of load them up. But you could probably play Ezreal in like a ton of different builds. It could be like a full Heartsteel build. It could be like with a different front line. You don't have to use brawlers, right? Or maybe there's like some sort of weird big shot build that you could kind of try too. Maybe you go like 6 big shot. Who knows? What will happen? Someone try it, you know, and let us know. Next comp up we have is Heartsteel Reroll. I believe this is the last one that we're going to go over. This one, oh my god, I didn't even realize my like sharing button at the bottom, it changed from Twitter to X. It's just funny and weird to look at. I still can't get over the name. It's so weird. But whatever, topic for a different day. Heartsteel Reroll, this one's going to be going for 5 Heartsteel with Aphelios carry. So with the reroll, you have like a ton of stuff to kind of go over. We have Aphelios, Set, and Yone, and Ezreal going to be the main Heartsteels in this comp. Kane's going to cap it off, but you can use Cassante before you get Kane. And this reroll is kind of like the one we did with Seraphine, where you're going for Aphelios 3 as your main carry, but then after that, your other units are kind of 3-cost units. So there are going to be some games where you want to go for Aphelios 3. There are going to be some games where you want to go for Yone 3. Somewhere around stage 3, that's like the best point of when you'll get like a pretty decent idea of what's going on. But Set's going to be your main tank in most cases, just because he's going to be the Heartsteel tank. And then you can play around with the extra stuff that you get from the Heartsteel buff. So obviously, all these comps that we've went over so far, lots of different versions of them, lots of different items you could try. That's the whole point of PBE. This is not something to be like, oh my god, you have to like super optimize your, what do you call it, on PBE to win fake points on the internet. Even if you're like doing that on like live, like yeah, like if you're having fun, great, you know, that's the whole point of playing games. But like if you're doing that and you're not having fun, then something's wrong. But especially on PBE, don't be like a Giga Sweat or whatever, because it's literally just like a fun game mode in a game that's not even ranked, right? So it's like, just do whatever, try new items, like down to experiment, go into the Discord to discuss with other players. And if you want to take it even a step further, go on over to my Twitch channel. I'll be streaming in the mornings most likely. So if you didn't catch it today, you could catch it tomorrow. And through there, we will be doing a bunch of viewer games, just so everyone can kind of like have some fun and, you know, get all involved. But that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Again, try the comps. If they work, great. If you have better stuff than what's on here, definitely go ahead and do that and share it with everyone else on the Discord. But apart from that, that's going to be it from me today. Hopefully I will see you all later.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.